This is the Pioneer DJ XDJ-AZ. It's a great controller, but it ain't nothing new. If you're expecting new gear, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, because this ain't no new gear show. This is just our monthly question and answer session from Digital DJ Tips with me, Phil Morse. Hello, welcome. Sorry, I know I'm teasing you. And this is a lovely unit. So, hey, we've been teaching some people today on the wonderful XDJ-AZ, which is why I've got it on the desk here in front of me now. But this is all about throwing the doors of the school wide open, wherever you are watching this, YouTube, Facebook or Twitch, and saying, what do you need help with right now in your DJing? We're going to be here for the next 45 minutes or so, helping you with just anything that you come up with. Literally, I've got the computer open here. I've got all your comments coming in from all of those platforms. And so whatever it is on your mind, whatever it is that you are stuck on, just share. And I'm here to help. There's lots going on in the world of DJing, of course. There is always a good place to find this stuff out is on the Digital DJ Tips website, of course. You head over to digitaldjtips.com and click DJ News at the top of the site, and you can see what's going on in the world of DJing. One of the things is the Alpha Theta XDJ F10 Sonic Link headphones that you can see at the top there. I've actually got those here in the studio. I've been playing with them today, and quite nice they are too, but they're not the only headphones that have been launched recently. Also, Adam Audio launched some headphones called the H200, so we've covered that on the site. We've covered the how to get a Serato Scratch Live skin for your Serato DJ Pro, which is quite bizarre and quite funny and quite good, really. I enjoyed it as a geek. So Serato has got some new Serato Scratch Live vinyl. Serato Scratch Live being the software that came before Serato DJ Pro. And if you buy some of these limited edition vinyl, DVS vinyls for controlling the software with Rekordbox and timecode, then it unlocks a really old-fashioned looking skin, or theme as they like to call it in Serato, that looks just like the old software. So that's something else that we had fun playing with. We've got videos for all of this stuff, by the way, so head to the YouTube channel or just to the site, and you can see what we've been getting up to here in the school. We've been doing a bit of teaching as well, you know, because that's kind of what we do. But yeah, this is what's been going on here. And we've also had a big push on helping people to return to DJing after a break recently. And so if that sounds like you, then come and have a look at this article on the site. It's a really big article. It's got a download attached to it. And again, you can head over to YouTube and look at our Back to Basics tutorial series. We put 3 videos live on our YouTube channel called Back to Basics in the last week, which talk you through how to get back to basics and how to do it all on modern DJ gear, very much like the XDJ-AZ that I have in front of me here now. Modern DJ gear, right? So that's what we've been up to here. What have you been up to? Let me know. As I say, comments are open. We're live till about 1/4 the hour coming up, wherever you are in the world. And I'm looking forward to getting chatting to you as always. So firstly, some early hellos. Hello to Kesha, Kevin, Javaman Sanchez, and Don, and Isomatic, and Avatar, and Mac, who says we need new, better music. We're just getting straight in nowadays, Mac. To Mike and to the Ruckus. Hello, Facebook crew and YouTube people. If you're on Twitch, say hello. Hello, Mixmaster G, who says happy October the 3rd to all my favourite fellow Leiden citizens. I guess it's your town day or state day or something, Mixmaster G. And Armin van Buren shares your neighbourhood as well. So there we go. Hello to Doe, to High Power Beaver, and to Lee, who says, I'm going to ask about the rumoured XDJ-AZ, which we are indeed calling out as the next indeed replacement unit for the one I've got in front of me now, the XDJ-AZ. Can you tell us anything? I'm guessing you know, but an NDA'd, but I thought I'd give it a go. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, for those who don't know what Lee's talking about there, which means basically the people will show us their new stuff, but we're not allowed to tell you yet. So if I was NDA'd and I told you, then actually I'm breaking the NDA, aren't I? Kind of. Crazy. Meta. So anyway, Lee, as soon as we can share anything with you, we will there. So Algorithm DJ has just come out with a dope update, says Mac. Yeah, you're the second person who's told me that. So I better make sure that we do have a look at what that is. I know the guys over at Algorithm, and they're pretty poor at letting me know. So I need you guys to help me with that. So thank you, Mac. Please do always share anything you find out about the DJ world that we maybe don't know. Right, so let's find our first question of the day, right? The first question of the day is from John, who says, "Hi Phil, will you have any updates on your Rekordbox Made Easy course to include Rekordbox iOS for mobiles and tablets?" So John is talking about this course here. If you go to Digital DJ Tips homepage and scroll past our flagship Complete DJ course, down past our mixing courses, down to our music production, and below that, and below that, and below that, you'll find our software courses. So we have a course here, Rekordbox Made Easy. Now, the thing with software courses is they're designed to get you up to speed with absolutely everything your software does. Rekordbox is a big, big platform, and they're always adding stuff. So yes, the answer to your question is that we've covered nearly everything in here, but we haven't covered Rekordbox for iOS because it's a different software. It's not Rekordbox 7, right? Which is what this is all about. So we would love to add that. It's on our list. We have a big, long, rolling list here at Digital DJ Tips of improvements to courses, things we want to add. And every week we look at it and we bump to the top the most important ones and so on. And so everything's in a constant state of improvement. And of course, you buy any course from us and you get all the updates for life. And so it's coming, I would hope, at some point. I can't give you a timeline on it. One thing we've learned, don't agree to things, don't put timelines on things, because inevitably things change. But it's certainly something that's on our timeline there, John. So if you've got any questions in the meantime, just ask within the course. We will do our best to help you right there and then. So apparently 450 years ago, Leiden, my hometown, was freed from the Spanish, says Mixmaster G. How times have changed, eh? So anyway, so Wes says, "Good afternoon. I love watching your YouTube channel. Fantastic content. Keep it coming." Well, thank you for that, Wes. Listen, we're here to answer your questions, so please get the questions coming. This one here is from Dr. Dynamite, who says, "On the DDJ 1000, the spiral effects doesn't have a time knob like on the standalone mixer. How do you use it?" So yeah, the effects on the Pioneer DJ Stroke Alpha Theta gear here, so you're saying spiral doesn't have a time on it. So spiral is an effect, it doesn't have it on here either. So look, let's just try and get a closer camera angle on that. If I go to this camera here and move it down a bit, obviously we'd never do this in our real videos, but in our live shows, hey, why not? If I move this camera down a bit to here, you can see a little bit better, right? Just zoom in a little bit there as well. Right, so the effects, in fact, I now need to zoom out a little bit. You see, this is why we don't do it on our live videos. Our live videos are a little bit more thought about on this kind of thing. Right, so at the top here, you've got the timing, right? This area here is telling you the time for the effect. So if I go to an echo, then I can select the time I want the echo to go on up here. However, if I go to spiral, there isn't anything, which means you can't change anything about the effect here. I suspect, having not listened to spiral for a while, that there just isn't anything to change. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think that this makes any difference, basically. What this is showing you is what you've got this set to. So if I was on an echo, this is going to change how quickly the echo happens, and this is going to be another way of doing it on the pad here. But on spiral, there isn't anything there to change. So that's probably what it is, thinking about it. But listen, someone else share if you've got an idea why spiral has got no options on here, and why maybe on other Pioneer DJ Stroke Alpha Theta gear it has, which I can't remember. And let me know. I'm sure we've got an expert in the room who can help with that, and we always have. That's the beauty of having these live shows. I get experts in the room and they help. So this is from Magdi, who says, "Hello Phil, I'm not a graphics geek, but I want to design a poster for my stream or cover on my mix set. Any idea where to go?" Yep, AI. Just get into an AI, type in what you want and see what comes out. Seriously, that is exactly what I would recommend. And if you want to get a bit more serious, then go to something like Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. And there's lots of graphic designers on there that for just a few dollars will knock up a case for you and stuff. So that is my current advice for getting artwork done. I mean, AI. I don't know what to say about AI. I'm just using it more and more every day. So Max says, "Will Denon ever get stems and a better way to transition from standalone to computer Serato mode like Pioneer does. So you're talking here about Denon DJ's standalone gear, not really Denon DJ. What you're talking about is Engine. So Engine DJ is the software that if you buy a Denon DJ unit like a Prime 4 or well, Prime 4 Plus now, or the SC Live 4 or the SC Live 2 or the Denon DJ Go, or you buy the Numark Mix Stream. There's a few of those now, a few Numark Mix Streams. They're all powered by the same standalone software, which is called Engine DJ. And Mac has identified a couple of truly long-standing bugbears with that software and wants to know if they're ever going to change. So the first one is stems. Is stems ever going to arrive? I think it's a question of when, not if. But stems is very processor intensive. So I can't see stems arriving on a standalone DJ system for a little while longer. It probably will come, but I just don't think that it will happen soon because they are something that takes an awful lot of processor power. So it means that such a unit would be very, very expensive. When it comes to a better way to transition from standalone to computer and Serato mode, now this really is a long-standing bugbear. So this unit here isn't actually plugged in at the moment. But one thing that Pioneer DJ stroke Alpha Theta does very well is if you're in this area here on the unit, so this area here is showing the things that you can connect to. As I say, this isn't actually connected up to anything at the moment, so it's not showing anything. But if you're in this area here, you can select, like, I want to DJ from my USB drive, or I want to DJ from my computer, or I want to DJ from Pro DJ Link, or anything else that the unit can connect to. And of course, the more modern units, this is quite an old unit now, but the more modern units are starting to get Wi-Fi in them, even Bluetooth and so on. And they're very, very easy to switch between sources. So you can just be playing away. You could be using your computer. You could be using, if you're using the CDJs, you could be using Beatport. You could be using, I have another DJ who's using like a USB. You've got Cloud Direct Play now on these units, which means that you've got your whole library, but it's in the cloud. So even though it's your music, you're actually playing it over the air through Dropbox. Funnily enough, I was counting the number of ways on modern Alpha Theta stroke Pioneer DJ standalone gear, the number like the Opus Quad and the Omnis Duo and this stuff and so on. I was counting the number of ways that you can play, different ways you can play music, and I came up with 10, which is awesome, right? It just makes the gear very, very flexible. And you're right, Mac, it's very, very easy to switch between all of those things and have the music playing, and it is something that Engine DJ is weak on. In Engine DJ, it is easier just to select one way of playing music and stick with it. So I don't know whether they'll change that. They're definitely going to be aware of it, but whether they change it or not, I don't know. I've certainly not heard anything that they're going to do that. So you can use Copilot if you want to do graphics, which is free AI at bing.com. Canva, says Ricardo, thanks for that, Franz. Canva, says Ricardo, is a good way of doing it as well. A couple of people have said Canva. Yeah, there's a couple of options for designing your artwork there as well. I use, 3 of you said Canva. I know that our graphic people here at Digital DJ Tips are Canva fans as well. Sharon says, hi Phil. Hello Sharon over there on YouTube. I'm fairly new to DJing and your videos have been extremely helpful. Thank you. Oh, glad to help you, Sharon. So why don't you open the StreamYard panel, says King World, so people can ask questions? Hell, I can pay you. Because that's not how we do these live shows. People can ask questions, just ask away. You just did, and I just answered you. Right, Leonardo says, AI is indeed very good. People are using it for promo album covers and stream overlays, etc., etc. The Epic Vibe. Hello Twitch people. I know we kind of neglect you, but hello over there on Twitch. The Epic Vibe on Twitch says the user manual. We're talking about Spiral. Mentions display of BPM to the nearest tenth. Are we talking about Spiral still? I don't know, but maybe there's a way in the future update or something like that. I think there is a conversation going on somewhere in our chat about BPM displays, which I don't think is anything to do with what we were talking about earlier. I think that's what you're talking about there. Anyway, talking to Twitch, DJ Courageous. I'm currently using a DJSB, says DJ Courageous in the chat over there on Twitch, and says, I'm using it with a Mackie audio mixer. I was curious if you had a recommendation for a higher end unit that would allow me to have a piece of equipment one piece of equipment rather than two? Well, firstly, why do you need an audio mixer as well as your DJI SB3? What is it that the SB3 hasn't got that the audio mixer is giving you? I suspect you're using it for a couple of microphones maybe, or to add in some kind of extra inputs that you haven't got, because the SB3 is basically, it's like this. This is a Pioneer DJ Flex 4, which is a more modern controller that's like the SB3 you've got. But essentially, if you look around the very back of these units, they've got very little going on them, right? You can plug in your speakers and you can normally plug in a microphone, but it just kind of comes out the other end. There's no way of mixing with that as well. And then you've got a USB for your computer or your mobile device. And that's it. There's no other inputs and outputs on this. So even though it's got a mixer, this is all software, right? This only controls your software. And that's very typical of this kind of cheaper unit, right? So your question, I guess, is my SB3, it's got those kind of limitations. What can I buy that has got what we would call an external mixer or standalone mixer capability? So for instance, this unit I've got here, this is a far more expensive unit. Around the back of this, we can plug in all kinds of things. We can plug in record decks and turntables and so on. And this has got two microphones here. So yeah, this is a far more capable unit. You'd be looking up to something like the Flex 10 in the Alpha Theta Pioneer DJ range, which is a unit that also has the ability to plug stuff in. I mean, it's really easy to spot it. You just look around the back of any DJ unit, look for this stuff, right? This is showing you that you can plug extra things in. And then somewhere on the unit itself, there's going to be switches, if not on the actual top of the unit, then in the utility on the screen, which will allow you to switch the channels on the unit into something else. So in other words, on this one here, these switches go from line to phono, which is basically CDs or record decks plugged in around the back, or computer mode, right? So I can use on these two channels here lots of extra things as well. So that's what you're looking for. And as I say, the Flex 10 is the first unit, if you're in that brand, that has got that capability. Even the Flex 6, which is big, it's kind of got jog wheels that look like this, so it looks like it would have that kind of stuff, hasn't at all. So you're spending a lot more money to get that kind of thing. So maybe you're probably best off sticking with a little external mixer for plugging extra things in, I would say, if it's the only thing that you don't like about your current unit, DJ Courageous. This is from Gumption, who says, when can we expect a CDJ 4000 to be released? Only asking because the 3000s have been around for a little while now. I know, doesn't time fly? I remember when these were brand new. We were in James Hype's studio in London with him, and they just released them, and we were begging Pioneer DJ to give us a couple because we were making his training and we wanted to use them. So yeah, that's years ago now. It's back in lockdown. So I don't know. We haven't got any news on that at all, I'm afraid. So this one is from DJ Mac Attack, who's just agreeing that computer-to-computer switchovers on Engine DJ is indeed annoying. I agree. So we've got one. Hey, we get one every now and then. In our polite, wonderful community where we're all here to learn DJing and we're all here to help each other, every now and then we get one person who thinks that they rule the chat and that everything they say is more important than everyone else. You know who you are. You've probably been kicked out already, but if you haven't, stop now. Final warning. Right, so Mr. Sheridan says, Serato's recent support for older controllers has given me hope that the Prime Go might finally become Serato compatible. Let's talk about this for a little while, because this is something that we're hearing a lot from DJs, and it's something that I think is a real problem. Well, it's not a real problem, but it's certainly something that I think the hardware and software companies could get together and do a better job of, right? And what we're hearing a lot from DJs now is they don't really care where the music comes from when they choose to buy gear. In other words, you go and buy something like this, right? You get it home and then you try and figure out how to get music into it. Do you need to use a laptop? Can you use it with a particular type of software? Or do you plug a USB drive into it and get the music in that way? Or can you connect to it via Wi-Fi and use Beatport or another streaming service? Or can you do a combination of all of those things? And it's quite annoying for DJs when they find that the unit they've bought can't do some of the more common and popular ways of what I just described. And what I mean by this is that when you've got a standalone unit, right? A standalone unit is one that doesn't necessarily need a laptop, right? So, I mean, this is quite an old one here now, but this is the XDJ-AZ. This is standalone. You plug your USB in and you DJ away with it. You don't need a laptop, but you can plug your laptop in as well. And that way you can use Serato and Rekordbox, and you can use stuff that this doesn't do without plugging in a laptop, because laptops are more powerful than this, right? So people will get a unit like the one you've mentioned, the Prime Go. They'll get it home and they'll realize it's really cool and they can DJ from a USB and it's all great, but then they want to plug in their favorite software and it won't work. And people now are getting to the point where they're just starting to expect these things to work. And it's a shame that the industry is a little bit behind the expectations of the people that are buying this gear, because that's not always the case. Now, usually there's one piece of software they'll work with, right? But with the Prime Go, I'm pretty sure it'll work with Virtual DJ. Someone can probably confirm that, but that's it. It doesn't work with any other software. And that is a limitation. So in answer to your question, sadly, I don't know, Mr. Sheridan. I don't think Serato will retrospectively support it because it's got a screen. So you might have noticed, so this is a news story, by the way, if you're just catching up with what's been going on in the DJ tech world. Serato recently announced that its software works with Traktor controllers. Wow. But it doesn't work with them all. It just works with the more simple ones, because I think Serato struggled to get the screen to do what they would want the screen to do on some of those units. And because the Prime Go has got a screen, I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. That's my view anyway. Black Rain, have you reviewed budget 4-channel mixers? No, we don't. We just tend to review the stuff that most of our students buy, to be honest. So we just don't review, you know, we're not a shopping site. We don't round up stuff like that anymore. We kind of, 10, 15 years ago, we kind of dabbled in that kind of thing, but now we just tend to cover the 3 or 4 biggest items in any product area that our students are buying. So no, we haven't. But your Behringer DDM 4000 works fine. So I'm very pleased that it does. And good to hear that stuff. So this is from Mark, who says, I just got my first DJ controller and I started using DJ-AY. I've got all my old music from my DJ CDs from back when I used to do weddings. Is it worth loading these into DJ, or should I use Apple Music? Brilliant, we've got a music question. And this is a really important one if you are switching to digital and you've got a big pile of old music, records, CDs, whatever. What do you do with them? Do you build a kind of, oh, there's the questions. That's yeah, there's proof that I don't make this stuff up, people. But that's not what I wanted to switch to. I wanted to switch to this. Do you build a big hybrid Frankenstein system like this that'll cost you 10 grand and the rest, so that you can play your CDs, so you can play your records, and you can play digital? Do you do that? Or do you, as you suggest, Mark, use a streaming service like Apple Music, which plugs into Algorithms DJ, and just play from there? Hey, why not? You know, you've got all these CDs, but they're also all on the streaming service. Or do you do something else? So to cut to the chase of our advice here at Digital DJ Tips, it's what you'll read about when we talk about this topic on our book, Rock the Dance Floor. It's what you'll see if you go to our YouTube channel and look for the really bright yellow and black videos. There's 3 of them we posted recently called Back to Basics, where we talk about all of this stuff. And it's also what I'm going to tell you now. If you've got CDs, rip them and use those. If you've got vinyl, just go and buy the tracks again unless you can't find them. And then if you can't find them and you've got a record player and you are prepared to put the time in to do a good job of it, sure, rip the tracks that you haven't got, but it's annoying, it takes ages, your quality is never as good as going and buying them again afresh. The time is probably worth more to you than the money it would cost to replace them just by going to a store. But do not rely on a streaming service when you are DJing. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet with streaming services because they tend to be in a bit of flux when it comes to the music that's on them. And what I mean by that is the streaming services don't own the music that they allow you to stream. They license it from the labels. And if the licensing stuff changes, then the tracks that you've got in your collection will just grey out and they won't be able to be played anymore. So I've got a little, if you don't believe me, here's a little test for you. Go and get 300 tracks you really like on a streaming service, Tidal, Beatport, BeatSource, Apple Music, Amazon Music, whichever one it plugs into your DJ gear. Get 300 tracks you like, stick them in a playlist, park it and come back to it in 6 months' time. I can guarantee you there'll be a handful of them that aren't available. And what you don't want is to turn up at your gig and open that playlist and the track that you just have to play for the happy couple has kind of grayed out. Also, sometimes you can get the tracks locally, which means you can have a version of it downloaded from your streaming service that will play in your DJ software. But most of the time you can't, and I know you can't with Apple Music and DJ. So look, streaming's great. Everyone should have a streaming subscription service, you know, because it's great for discovering music, it's good for day-to-day music, etc. As soon as you love a track, buy it, put it in your collection. So in your case, rip the CDs, it's easy. Get a $30 CD ripper from Amazon, plug it into your computer, software comes with it, or just use iTunes or Apple Music. It's really easy. It will add all the data about the artists and the titles and so on. Take the tracks you want, not all of it, but just the tracks you want, put them in your DJ library, keep it lean and mean, and job done. But otherwise, buy the stuff that you want afresh, would be my advice. The Epic Vibe was answering. The question that Roger asked that I didn't spot about the Rain Performer. So thank you for that. If you are still hanging on that open loop from earlier. So this is from Steve. Steve being one of our fantastic tutors here at Digital DJ Tips, who in the background has done some research, and apparently the spiral effect should have a time option, but it doesn't work properly on some units, including the XDJ-AZ. Wow, so now we know. How cool. How cool to have real-time feedback to get this stuff all figured out. So Dennis is saying a really good starting DJ unit is a Numark Mix Stream Pro Plus. I agree it is, it's fantastic. So inputs, extra inputs, plugging in your own decks and stuff, always add a few hundred extra to the price, says you don't like my music. You're absolutely true there in what you say. It always does. So Jay Hill Creative over there on YouTube, hello Jay, says I have Dropbox and Rekordbox and I've got them linked, but I'm not able to play music on Rekordbox unless my music is stored on my Mac. Am I doing something wrong, or is it not possible to do this? Thanks. So I think the issue you've got here is, so funnily enough, I was looking at this earlier. So this is Rekordbox in all its glory. And so Rekordbox has got an option in the settings that lets you put your music into the cloud. So where my mouse is, I'll move it around so you can see it. See my little mouse pointer in the bottom corner? So see this little symbol here with a cloud by it? That's because I subscribe to Rekordbox and I've got all my music on my Dropbox, and that's why it's got a little Dropbox symbol next to it as well. So this music is now all literally up in my Dropbox, and Rekordbox is treating it as my own personal cloud, if you like, my own personal streaming service, which is pretty cool because you can log in. You can't log in on this unit, but you can log in on some standalone units, including the 3000s. And you can just access that music directly as long as the venue's got internet and it's your own music. So if there's a track you've left behind or something, that's pretty cool. But also, the thing I like the most about it is that you can have on your phone the same library, right? So here I've got my collection on this phone. Let me just get it here so you can see it. So this is the same music on my phone. I've got my collection here. I'm literally logged into the same collection. So in here, I'm able to now play and look at music that's in my own Rekordbox. And so I could put my own cue points on here. I can prepare playlists, and I can even DJ directly from this on some Alpha Theta Pioneer DJ gear. Sometimes you don't even need to use a wire. Sometimes you can just connect wirelessly to do that. So your whole library can be on your phone, it can be on multiple laptops, it can be played easily from some standalone gear, all by having it in Dropbox, right, in the cloud. So that's kind of how it works. So your question is that you can't play the music on your laptop unless it's downloaded, and that's absolutely correct. Your laptop, as soon as you connect it to that Dropbox, will want to download the music to allow you to play it on that local laptop. Now you don't have to download everything. You can just select playlists that you want from your collection. I'm pretty sure you can just do that. In fact, I know you can, and have them playing. But yes, you can't effectively stream track by track as you can on a standalone, I don't think, from a laptop, because it's assuming that you're using a laptop kind of like more deeply into your ecosystem. You're not just logging onto it, playing a few songs, logging off and chucking them off again. So I guess that's probably what's going on there. I mean, what are you trying to achieve, Jay? If you let me know a little bit more there, I, or someone else of course, can help you here in the chat. Mr. Sheraton, he was talking about his SB3, his beginner controller. I don't have an SB3 here. It's an older model now, something like this. He's saying it's great, but it's limited. Look at it this way. It can do about 50 times more, probably 500 times more than 2 turntables and a mixer. Sometimes having gear that's limited is not the end of the world. So I'd say upgrade for sure, but you'll be spending a lot more to make a meaningful upgrade. So just be sure you know what you're upgrading to, or more importantly, why you're upgrading. So this is from Lou. Lou says, "Hi Phil, I don't have a studio like you for streaming, so I have to set up the streaming gear and take it down." Oh, Lou, before I go any further, I'm totally with you. Do you know what I love most about this teaching studio here? It's that we can walk in here, say we've got a live lesson, or we've got one of these shows, or we've got some students on a webinar, or we're doing some one-to-one training, or we're recording some videos to put out on YouTube, or we're recording a new course. Whatever it is, I can walk straight in here and I turn on the lights you can see behind me, right? The nice blue lights. I turn on the 2 big lights that are there and there. By the way, they don't reflect in my glasses anymore as much as they used to. Have you noticed that? I can turn on the power to the production computers and the power here to this lot. And within 3 or 4 minutes, I can go live. And that is so good. Trust me, it would kill me having to set up and then same to leave. I can finish a show and be out of here in about 3 minutes, probably less. It's so good to have a permanent studio. So Lou, I totally feel your pain. I don't have a way of remembering all the settings, said Lou, in volume, camera settings and other stuff, etc. Any idea how to make it easy when setting up? Yes, I have. So 2 things. Number 1, it's okay to have a checklist. So even though I've just described a really simple studio, I mean, this studio is not simple, it's complex, but it's been set up in a way that's simple to do. Even though I've described that, we have here a piece of paper which I run through every single time when we go live. And I check every single line of this. You can see there's some scribbles on it where I've changed things, so that I know when we go live, 99 times out of 100, there'll be no problems. Checklists are brilliant. Don't be scared to have a checklist and keep it up to date. But the second thing is presets are your friend. I'll give you another example from our studio, right? This microphone sounds quite nice, doesn't it? You can't hear the air conditioning in the background that I can hear. If people walk past in the corridor, you generally can't hear them. And my voice is nice and boomy and loud enough. That's not by mistake. That's all programmed into this gear. And it's all programmed in on a preset, which means that if for any reason we have to change things up, when it's time to just come back here and do a normal stream, I go in and I select the Digital DJ Tips preset video for the audio. And that's just one example. I've got exactly the same on all the cameras. So in other words, there's ways of saving your settings in software and on hardware even, so that next time you can load them up again. You know, one thing people don't realize about DJ gear is if you're plugging a USB drive into your gear here, pretty much always on the software, there is a way of recording what you like about the way you want your gear to be configured. So here inside Rekordbox, there are settings up here where I can literally say, I want these things to be this color and I want these volumes to be like this. And when I press this button, I want it to do this and so on. And so when I plug into the Pro gear, the gear just goes da 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 da, and everything's how I want it instantly. Presets are your friend. So look, Lou, don't be scared to have a list. Checklists are brilliant. And secondly, look for the presets so that you can just save like a snapshot of where everything is. And next time you open the software, you can just load that snapshot. And all those settings that would have taken you ages are done in a second. And just look for ways to simplify as well. Looking for ways to simplify is always good, I think, because what happens over time is we try and add more things, we try and get more complicated. And sometimes, you know, we end up overcomplicating things, and you add something else and something else and something else. It doesn't actually make much difference, but it's making a lot of difference to your kind of ability to get up and running quickly. DJ live streaming should be kind of almost spontaneous. So if you do have to set stuff up over and over again, oh, and by the way, another good thing to do is to use bits of tape or chalk on the floor. That's what Steve does here at Digital DJ Tips a lot. So camera tripod open, put it down, get the shots all right, and then just put some chalk on the floor. So next time you set the tripod up, you can put it in exactly the same place. Just a little trick from doing what you're doing, setting up and breaking down your gear. Right, so this is from Blue420 on YouTube. What is the best DJ system that requires no laptop? What do you recommend? If you're just starting, the Numark Mixstream Pro Plus, I think it's called, the latest Numark Mixstream Pro is fantastic. If you want to spend a little bit more, I'm a big fan of the Pioneer DJ XDJ RX3. Unless you want to do key mixing, unless you want to alter the key of the tracks, because that is the biggest, stupidest omission from that otherwise really, really, really nice unit that they just decided not to put in it. To me, it's a deal breaker. But if you're not really bothered about that, then the RX3 is really, really good. It's very, very popular. You tend to see it an awful lot out and about when you're in small bars and so on. So that would be my next step up. And then the next step up, probably currently, at the time of recording this, the Denon DJ Prime 4 Plus, if you don't need to have Pioneer stroke Alpha Theta. The Prime 4 Plus is the currently most capable 4-channel unit. Or maybe the Opus Quad, which costs a bit more than that, but is very, very nice as well, if you do want to stay with Pioneer Alpha Theta gear. But they're going to cost you like thousands and thousands. I think the Numark Mixstream Pro, and I think it's called, I think it is called the Pro Plus, isn't it? Is a wonderful unit. It's so good value for money for what you get. So we are now getting near the end of our show today. I know, doesn't time fly? But if you have just joined us, we've got a couple more questions to go, so hang about and you can go watch the replay from the beginning. We're live here in the Digital DJ Tips studios with another one of our open house shows where we basically stop teaching students in the courses, stop making training and stop reviewing stuff and just let our hair down and start talking DJ tech for, you know, for 45 minutes or something. We do them every first Thursday of the month nowadays. The other Thursdays that used to be public are now podcast recordings and private shows inside our student groups. So if you want to know more about them, hey, become a student. Right, but this is our open house and we do like these, it's nice. So what non-Traktor controllers work best with Traktor, says Steve, and how much mapping and programming would be required? It's an easy one to answer this. If you are using Traktor with this, a Pioneer DJ Pro setup, CDJ 3000s, then it works fine. It's been programmed to work fine, jog wheels sound great, buttons work fine, Traktor works all right with this stuff. Anything else, it's not good with. And the reason it's not good with is that the jog wheels can never be mapped properly. That you just can't. You can't make Traktor jog wheels work properly on non-Traktor equipment. It's because of the way the jog wheel movements are implemented inside the Traktor software. No one's ever been able to do it. Even when Pioneer DJ relaunched their Flex 6 controller, they relaunched it as a grey controller instead of a black one, and they called it the Flex 6 Grey or something. They said it now works with Traktor, and we're like, wow, that's a bit of a turn up for the books. And so we plugged it in and tested it. Same old problems, jog wheels are rubbish. So no, you can't use non-Traktor gear with Traktor. And if you're not bothered about the jog wheels, you can map all kinds of things to it. So for instance, one controller that a lot of Traktor users are very happy using with Traktor is this one, the Zone K2. And this is a lovely little controller for modular DJing. You can map this to do all kinds of stuff. Traktor mappings are quite intuitive when you get your head around them, although they do look pretty scary at first. And so this is a, like I say, popular unit for DJs that don't care about jog wheels. They don't care about beat mixing. They just, all their music's beat gridded and they just hit the sync button and they spend all their time on the effects and on everything else rather than that. So the K2, but then again, of course, Traktor has its own modular units nowadays. The one that they launched again recently is this one here. In fact, no, that's the old one. That's the old Z1. I thought I was picking up the X1 Mark II. But they've got, Traktor have got a whole range of these. The X1, the Z1 or Z1 and the F1, which are tiny little modular units that they make themselves. So there's not really any need to map anyone else's really, if that's all you want. But yep, there it is. There it is. That's the new one. It's got lots of flashing lights on the bottom and stuff. It's been Modernised a bit. I like that actually, it's a good unit. We've got some more Traktor training coming up soon enough, so keep an eye out for that. Right, so one or two final questions then before I shoot off into the night, so to speak. This one is from the, oh no, I won't read out that one actually, just because it's a similar topic to what we've done before. This is a gear one, straight up gear question, accessory question from Mike. I've got the Flex 4, the one I keep holding up, and I've got a laptop and I've got speakers. I need advice on what is the best stand. Thank you. I've actually got a couple of bits of advice for you here. So one stand that I really like is this. So you can buy these on Amazon. They cost hardly anything. And this is a little stand that you can set up. I'll set it up now and show you. You can set up like this. See that? Whoa, I fell out. So the idea here is then, I can't really do it here because I've got, oh, go on, I'll have a go. The idea here is that you put it flat. So imagine this was a desk, not a controller. You'd put it flat like that. And what it does is if you've got a controller, small controller like this, it has to be a small one or else it won't work. You can put it on there and it tilts the controller up towards you. You see that? The controller is now tilted towards me, and it's so much nicer when the controller is just tilted up to work with. These are really, really nice. I'm a big fan of these. It works well with the Denon DJ Prime Go as well. So they're just a little fold-up stand. I don't know what they're called, but you know, look for something that looks like that on Amazon. It comes with its own little case and slides in. It's like an oversized sunglasses case, really. Really nice. So that'd be my first advice. Go find yourself one of these just to get your controller tilted up a bit. When it comes to actual DJ laptop stands, my favorite, and they've still got this, I think they've improved on it a little bit as well. In fact, it's not here at the moment, so I can't show you, is the Hercules stand. Just search for the Hercules stands, laptop stand. Hercules as in Hercules. That's a good one. But also, what else have we got here? Because we see them all. So if you want to spend a bit of money, these are quite expensive in the US. They're not quite so expensive in Europe. This stand's ace. This stand's really, really cool. It's the Reloop stand hub. And what's cool about this stand is, so this bit, I've got this angle quite low, but you can push it up a bit more. You put your laptop on here, tuck these feet underneath your controller, so your laptop's really close to you. It's got, let me show you on the overhead camera, it's got a full USB hub. So you can plug your computer power into here, and then anything else you need power for can come straight off this. So maybe for your setup, it's a bit overkill because you've only got one DJ unit, right? So you don't really have an issue with that. But if you were powering like, you know, other USB equipment, maybe you always like to have your phone plugged in next to you and stuff like that. One of those is really good. And certainly if you're using DVS or stuff like that, then having everything kind of all plugged in together, or indeed modular gear like this, where they all need their own USB, it works really nicely. Ultimately, as long as the stand positions the laptop where you want it and it's kind of quite sturdy, you're all right. The one that everyone's gone for over the years is called the crane stand, and UDG do a good copy of the crane stand. I'm not even sure if they still make the crane stand, but that's nice because you can set it up in a Z, but you can also set it up in a U. So depending on where you're setting it up, you can get the height or the reach or tuck it under gear or whatever you want. Right, I love these questions, and this is going to be our final question of the day. I love these questions because they always start like this. I apologise if this is a dumb question. There's no such thing, Derek, so thank you for asking it. Is there a way to create stems in Rekordbox when you're actually analysing your music and then add them to a USB drive? I use the XDJ-AZ Nexus, which came before these ones, of course, and I would love to play with stems, but they're not available on standalone. So in answer to your question, no, not directly. There's a lot of software that will extract stems for you though. So you don't have to use Rekordbox to do stems. You can use any of a number of programs. You can even use Virtual DJ. Now, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure if you download Virtual DJ, it's free until you plug a controller in. And one of Virtual DJ's features is really, really good stems analysis. In other words, it can separate the a cappella the drums and everything for you. And I'm pretty sure that it can also output those as individual audio files for you. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, which means that for free, you could use Virtual DJ to achieve what you want. And then you just put those files into Rekordbox, load them onto your USB, label them up accordingly, and you've done it. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone, but I reckon that would work, Derek. So just go download Virtual DJ. What I can tell you is that the quality of the extracted stems will be far better than Rekordbox in the Virtual DJ software. It just is. Has anyone tested the stems in Rekordbox 7 yet properly? I think I gave them a quick listen and they haven't really changed anything, but yeah, let me know if you have. Right, I think we're probably going to leave it there. Thank you very much, everyone who's been chatting among yourselves. I notice so often as we get towards the end of one of these shows that people, I'm talking Mixmaster G, DJ Courageous, The Epic Vibe, you're all talking among yourselves, you're all helping each other out. You're doing the absolute opposite of what that goon who came on earlier and started shouting in capitals that everyone was doing, which is being a good community citizen. As pretty much everyone is here in the Digital DJ Tips community. We're pretty blessed that way. So thank you everyone for taking part today. Now, if you haven't had your question answered, I'm sorry, we can't get around to all of them. As you've seen when I accidentally showed you my questions coming in here, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them and I just can't answer them all. If you haven't had your question answered, just know that all Digital DJ Tips students get invited to 2 sessions every single month inside our private Student Hub Facebook group, where we go live just like this, but it's just a smaller number of us. And we endeavour to answer every single question and query and comment there. So if you want to be sure that you get your questions, queries and comments answered, and even if you want to have a chance of getting them featured on our public podcasts, if you haven't seen our podcast yet, where have you been? Then do just become a student. There's so much in our courses lineup that might be right for you as a student. So the first place to head is digitaldjtips.com. Scroll down. For most people, this is the one to get, the complete DJ course. But then underneath that, you'll see all our other courses as well. Grab a course and you get admission as part of the fee for your course to our student groups. And in those groups, you can come and join me and the team live. And if you want to find the podcast, by the way, you just go to the bottom of the site, click on podcast, and it'll take you to our podcast page here. You can catch up on the episodes you might have missed, but more importantly, you can subscribe on all the usual podcast platforms as well. Right, for now though, hey, this has been fun, hasn't it? Thank you very much. Hit those like buttons and thumbs ups and all that stuff if you've enjoyed this today. I'll be back on the first Thursday of November for the penultimate one of these for 2024. Where does all the time go? It's almost, in fact, it is scary. But I'll be back then. Till then, have a great month. Get good, get out there, make the moments. Bye for now.